Hey gang, Wiggy here. Okay, let's take a look at a few sources that you can use to find content that you can curate. And the first source, the source that I know I use the most when I'm looking for content to curate is simply just Google. I have a Google search screen here, obviously, and what I do is simply just type in my keyword that I am looking to curate content for into Google. You can type in, just your niche. Of course, many times your niche is going to be your keyword, and that's fine. So all I do is I simply just type in my keyword, and I start going through the results in the first page or two or three or whatever. Now, how many sources are you going to need to find to curate for your niche or for your keyword? And really, there's no specific answer, because it really kind of depends on how you're going to set up your site and how many articles you're looking to write or posts you're looking to write for that specific keyword, or that niche in general. If you're looking up, let's say, your specific keyword, how many posts are you looking to write, and how are you going to have your site set up? Are you going to have just one article on your top level domain and then with a menu that's going to go everywhere else on the site, or are you going to have just a landing page that's going to take people to other parts of your site, or are you going to go kind of in a blog format that you're going to have several posts on the top level domain, or whatever? Honestly, all it comes down to, how you design your blog or your site is up to you. That's not the point of all this. All it really comes down to is how many pieces or how many articles you plan on writing, or how many pieces of content you're going to need for your site. That's how many sources really you're going to need to find. They don't necessarily all have to be based around your keyword, because it depends on what your keyword, or how many pieces of content you plan on creating for that keyword. So obviously here I have just done a search on how to cure acne. If you had a site on how to cure acne, you may need a couple sources to curate, because you plan on writing a couple articles, or maybe you're going to do just one article on how to cure acne, and then you'd have another one on how to prevent acne, so you would look up that conceivably, and then you might have another one on how to cure blackheads or something. I don't know. So in another video we'll look at just how specific you have to search. But now that you have that out of the way, we'll look at that here, because there is a definite topic that I want to address there, and that's why we're going to have a separate video on it. But when you're searching in Google, what I want to show you is how to determine what kind of sites that you should pick out when you're looking through Google. Now, don't think that you necessarily have to pick something from the page one. You can, that's great. I'll go as far as 3 or 4 pages if I can't find anything that looks great when I start initially searching. And if I don't find anything within about 3 pages that looks like it would make for good curation material, then I'll just simply search a slightly different variation of the keyword, or maybe broaden it out a little bit so that I'm not quite as specific, and I look for something that's a little bit more applicable to the niche in general, as opposed to the specific keyword, as long as it applies to whatever it is I'm searching for. So again, we have searched how to cure acne, and here is everything on the front page. Now, what you're going to want to find is a site that is reputable, or is going to give instant credibility, give instant authority to your reader when they see it. At the same time, you are not going to want to help support your competition. So if you see other niche sites, which if you're searching for specific keywords, there's a good chance you'll find niche sites when you're doing your Google search here. You don't want to you don't want to look for those, and you don't want to curate from those, because that's just promoting your competition and everything else. So the question ends up being, especially if you're kind of a noob at all this and you don't really know what you're doing, how do you know by looking at these whether or not something is a niche site? Now, you can't just click on them all and look, and it's pretty easy once you open up the site. But here's a few tips to save you a little bit of time as you're actually going through the search itself. If you see something like this that's an exact match domain, or an EMD, and what an exact match domain is, if you happen to not know, is when your keyword is specifically the domain itself. Like, again, we are searching how to cure acne. You see this, howtocureacne.com, with dashes in there. An actual exact match domain would be just howtocureacne.com, no dashes, no anything else. Or how to cureacne.net or org, or sometimes you'll see a .info or something like that. That's an exact match domain. 9 times out of 10 or more, if you see an exact match no name, especially for a little bit longer keyword phrase, something that's got 3 or 4 words in it, it's going to be a niche site, so I wouldn't even look at it. Like this howtocureacne.com, I'm almost certain that's going to be a niche site. You've got howtocureacne.org, again, hyphenated.org, that's likely a niche site. Howtocureacne.org slash howtotreatacne, that is looks to be just an inner page of the same site. I wouldn't worry about that one as well. Here, health.howstuffworks.com. Now that sounds like How Stuff Works. I've seen that before. I'm pretty sure that's some sort of just an informational authority site. What we'll do here is we'll open that, and I haven't done this search before. I'm doing this all just off the cuff here, so we'll kind of see what it comes down to. We'll open this here in a new tab, and we'll look at that here in a second, and we'll keep on searching. Acne, how to treat it, pamf.org. I don't know that site, honestly, but that looks like that could very well be an authority site, or it would not be a niche site. So we'll go ahead and open up that as well, and we'll come back to that. And then, of course, you see here acne.org. That's going to be a niche site, or not. It's not going to be a niche site. That is likely an authority site just based on acne, probably some sort of a government site, what orgs were originally designed to be, that kind of thing. So we'll go ahead and open that up, and then acne.org here, that's another just an inner page of that, so we'll leave that alone. You've got healing.about.com, and about.com, that's going to be an authority site, so we'll open up that one. acneonchin.com. That sounds, honestly, acne on chin, that's probably a keyword. That's more than likely that's an exact match domain for some sort of a niche site, so we're not going to worry about that. And then you've got wikihow.com. That's going to be some sort of an authority site likely too, so we'll open up that one, and let's take a look at what these look like. Now this is, and wait for it to open up here, this is Discovery Fit and Health. It looks like this might be a part of the Discovery Channel website here. I'm not really sure, but if we scroll around, this looks like a legitimate site with some good content on it. It's not a niche site. This very well could be a good source that you could curate some text from. So this would be a definite possibility. If we look at the Palo Alto, that's that PAMF, Palo Alto Medical Foundation. This obviously is not a niche site. This looks like some sort of a medical site of some sort, and this would be another great resource for curating some content. So I would definitely recommend this one. Home of the Roger, acne.org. There you go. This looks like, yeah, another great, just a long article site, or maybe even a forum, it looks like, conceivably. So there might be some information in here. Take a look at it, give it a brief read through, and see whether or not it would work. But this looks like this could definitely work. And this is, again, about.com, holistic healing, simple tips to cure acne. You could easily curate this, and this would be good information to curate. And our last example here, wikihow.com, how to get rid of acne. Again, this is some information here you could easily curate, and would probably not only be good information, but again, because of where it's coming from, you would establish some instant credibility. Now, don't think that just because, when you're looking to establish instant credibility and you are trying to determine what site you should pull from, don't think the URL has to necessarily be instantly recognizable. If we go back to here, this one, that pamf.org, when we looked at that in Google, we had no idea what that was. But when you see Palo Alto Medical Foundation, that implies authority, credibility. This is some sort of a medical site. So when you're curating your content and you're writing your article, you don't have to say, oh, well, according to pamf.org, nobody knows who that is. What you say is, hey, according to the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, boom, and then you have your curated content in there. So when somebody's reading that, no one else is going to know what PAMF.org is, just like you probably didn't, like I didn't when I searched this thing here. But if you say Palo Alto Medical Foundation, that's going to imply authority, credibility. This is going to be some definite good information that your reader can then benefit from. So that's just a quick example. Again, how many pieces of content do you need? We looked at, what, 5 here? You could conceivably use all of them. You might only need one of them. It depends on how your site's going to be set up. So just determine how many pieces of content you need. Go searching in Google and find some good authority sites. We'll see you in the next video.